We're going to continue our study of some of the Hebrew particles by today looking at the sign of the direct object and the definite article. In Hebrew, there is no indefinite article. Now in English, we have an indefinite article. When we talk about something as an apple or a bus, these are indefinite articles. Now you know that is distinct from the use of the apple or the bus. So there's a difference between the indefinite article and the definite article. Now in Hebrew, you have a sign for the definite article. But if a noun does not have the sign of the definite article, then it is understood and supposed to be indefinite. So today what we're primarily going to focus upon then is, in fact, the definite article. Now let's just take any word, whatever it might be. We'll just put our X's up here for consonants. And the way that Hebrew does the definite article is by putting on the front of the word, very similarly to the way we say the apple, it will put on the front of the word the consonant hey, typically with the patach, and there will be changes to this vowel depending upon sometimes the next consonant, the vocalization of the word. But it'll be the consonant hey with the patach, that's our A-class vowel, and in the next letter there will be a dagesh forte. And remember that the dagesh forte is the doubling of the letter. And so sometimes you will see, I'll give you an example here. We have Hashemayim, I won't write out the whole word, won't worry about that. But here you will have the patach, and in this letter you will have the dot, which indicates to you that the dagesh forte is doubling this particular letter. So this would actually be pronounced Ha-sh-sha-mayim, and so forth. But in reality, when you pronounce the word, it's really going to sound more like Hashemayim, not Hash-shamayim. So you have, again, this is the definite article, the consonant hey, with a vowel. Usually it will be the patach. It could be a kametz. It could be, sometimes you will see it as the sagol, but the typical vocalization is going to be with the patach, followed by the dot in the next letter, and that is the dagesh forte. And what you need to do is in your mind just start associating the letter hey on the front of a noun with our equivalent the, which precedes a noun in English. It's very easy once you begin to get the sense of it. The first rule, the first principle, is that you will identify the particular word as a noun. When you do that, then you'll be able to recognize clearly that what we're talking about here is in fact the definite article. And here's a very common one. Let's just put this one up here. Hasus. Hasus. So the horse. If this definite article was not there, it would be a horse. That's how this works. Another particle that you need to learn is called the sign of the direct object. In English, we do not have a marker that tells us specifically that the following noun after a verb is the direct object. But often in Hebrew, you will find this represented. And that is a great help sometimes in translating. The sign of the direct object is the consonant aleph, followed by the consonant tav, with the srei, or sometimes with the sagol. Just depends on how the words are put together, but you will see one of those two. And then it would not be uncommon to find after that the makef, which is the hyphen, in this case to indicate that these words are closely connected. So this is one of those things that you'll just have to learn, that this is the sign of the direct object. When you have, of course, the action of a verb, then you have the sign of the direct object, and then you'll have the object itself that will indicate that which is the recipient of the action of the verb. Now, one of the things you'll have to learn along the way is to distinguish between the sign of the direct object and one of the prepositions, which is this preposition with the segol et. And that is one of the prepositions for the word with, but you will find that this will not be all that difficult over a period of time, where you'll be able to distinguish whether this is the sign of the direct object or in fact the preposition with. It's just one of those things that you'll learn, especially as you learn the different words. As you get into translating more, these things will become just very normal and natural. And you always need to remember that's exactly the way things tend to work in our own English language. You don't think about the grammar of the sentence that you just speak. You just simply do it, and you know it. And the person who hears it doesn't think about the grammar of what they've just heard. They just hear it and they just know it. And the context often helps them to discern or decide which word of an individual might have meant. Or, for instance, some words such as read, R-E-A-D versus R-E-D. Context helps you understand clearly which one of those two the speaker actually meant. And so it will be with this as well. So these are two very important particles of speech in Hebrew. Until the next time.